again, we got a 2-year-old colt right here. He's a half brother to my yearling colt. They got the same daddy, and the mamas come from the same bloodline. 3/4 brothers actually. He's been with me now for about a week, just about a week. I've been working on the ground with him, starting with sacking him out with plastic bags on the end of a whip. Of course, he didn't understand it. He was kind of scared of it, but we got him going pretty good. And we went from there to lunging him, teaching him how to lunge, and working him in this round pen real good, and teaching him how to turn and stop and whoa. And got the saddle on him, and of course he crow hopped. I probably should have videoed that for you, but he crow hopped 2 or 3 times. I kind of pulled him out of the buck. I don't want a young horse to learn how to buck. I don't, even with the saddle on him. I did take the saddle and the pad put on the horse and let him just sit there with it and look at it and smell it and stuff like that without asking him to move forward. That kind of gets him kind of used to it. But if a horse is gonna buck, they're gonna do it anyway. But we want to try to make sure that they're not totally afraid or petrified. In this situation, when you're training horses, you never want to scare them, especially when they're young. You have to remember now, horses are cowards by their very nature. You know, they're prey animals. So gone are the days of throwing a saddle up there and yeehawing a horse, just cowboying him up. Because what you're doing, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times in a situation, you can create a problem later in life for a horse. If their first training experience is a bad experience, they'll remember that. You know, again, remember me talking in the last video about the foundation. The better foundation you put on your horse, the better he is. No matter what he goes through in life, no matter if he runs into a problem later, you can always go back to basics. I'm gonna show you where we're at with him right now. I'm gonna ask him to back up here. Back up. Now, this horse is a little smarter than the last one. Back up. Back in from the ground. Builds muscle. Teaches him how to back when you get in the saddle. You don't understand that back a whole lot. It's still a little foreign to him, but he's not totally afraid of it. He tries to run off. Okay. With that old whip. Run that bag around his head. Run it back around his head on this side. Pop him on his legs a little bit and let him get used to it. It ain't no big deal. If he flinches, what you're doing is you're sacking the horse out. And you're getting him kind of used to this kind of stuff. So if you ever have to ride down the side of a road or in a parade or on a trail ride and that same plastic bag goes flying across the power lines or across the trail, it don't scare him because he's used to it. You can never do too much of that. You can never do too much of that. This colt right here is pretty smart though. He hasn't been a problem. He was handled when he was 2. He's born right up the road from me. He was handled when he was 6 months. I'm sorry, when he was 6 months old. He was handled a little bit, taught how to lead and tie, and that's it. And ever since then, he's been out in the pasture. So we're gonna get him going. Get a little forward motion. Now it's a little cool out here, so he might get a little frisky. Get right in that water. That's a good thing. But I want to get him going a little bit, loosen him up. As long as you keep that forward motion going on your coat, you're good. Let it go around there. Get him going. The more you do this, the better he'll run. Try not to pull on him a little bit because this horse is pretty smart. So if you tighten up that line, you want to lunge him with a loose line. If you tighten that line up, he's going to take that as a cue to stop. And you don't want him to stop. You want him going forward. Now I'm going to warn him when we get around to the other side. Now whoa. He stops, faces me up, did the right thing. So you want to come over here and congratulate that baby. Good boy. And talk to him. Rub his old eyes and rub his ears. Horses kind of like that a little bit. Start out when they're young doing that. They don't get all head shy. You know? Whatever you do on the right, we want to do on the left. Get him going around. right there. Anytime your horse is lunging in these round pens, they know where the gate's at. So you make it harder for them at the gate. Put a little pressure on them at that gate. Clutch home. Get him going. Good boy. He's young, so he gets a little frisky, a little agitated. But the more you're lunging, the more he'll settle down and settle in. Good boy. If you don't have a lunge whip, use that old lead rope. Pop on his butt. Keep going. When he goes back around, we're going to warn him where you see how well he stops. Whoa. Whoa. Good boy right there. Turns around and faces you. You want to come to him and pet him. What we're going to do now, this is a little fast forward on this video. Like I said, he's been with me about a week. Already got the saddle on him. He might try to buck around a little bit, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. We're going to pull him out of that buck, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. That saddle pad, whenever you're trying to teach your horse how to accept the saddle, start with that old pad. Let him smell it. He probably smell the other horses on it, preferably old used pad, something that has a familiar smell to him. You know, horses sweat on it. And go to rubbing on that baby. Now, a lot of them might jump around, usually a short lead rope, and stay with him. You rub him, and rub him. And set that thing up there sideways and let him see it on both sides. Put it on his back. Run it up and down his butt, all the way up his neck. And as long as he stands there, you can congratulate him. Tell him good boy. And whoa. And run that thing on that side. Get on this side. Do the same thing. Whatever you do on the right, put on the left. Run that thing back to his butt back there. Horses see things and perceive things differently from the right side than the left side. Again, the right side is strictly the reaction side of his brain. Once he settles in, you settle that blanket down on him. I'm going to grab me a short lead because I'm on the long lead. That way if he does pull back or something like that, I don't get tangled up in that long lead rope. He don't get tangled up in that long lead rope. And he's safe. The name of the game is, when you're dealing with these horses, is safety. The safer you are, the longer you can do it. I'm going to grab the saddle. It's not foreign to him. When he first saw it though, he didn't freak out. He just didn't understand what it was. And that's a good thing. As opposed to some horses, when they first see it, it scares them. Horses are scared by nature again. So I'm going to hold his head around here. Let him smell that saddle. Let him get a good whiff of that. And, you know, let it touch his body. It's not totally foreign to him. So we're going to set it up there. Now when I first set it up there, of course he'll put a hump in his back. You know, if he walks around, just don't get excited. But keep that saddle to where you can grab it. Wool, talk to him, wool. Good boy. If he stops, does the right thing, you want to congratulate him. Good boy. And rub on that baby. Rub on that coat. Let him know everything's okay. Get on this side. Uncinch him. I'll unbuckle your equipment here. And let that cinch hang down there. Let him feel it on his legs. Get on this side. Take your time and ease that cinch up. Take your time and ease that cinch up on him. Let him feel it. Now on this coat, when he's standing in the wash rack or the cross ties, I rub up under his belly, right up under that cinch area. Hold my hand there and scratch him. It's okay. He understands that it's not something that's going to get him. Now the wind's blowing out here, pick it up, so I'm going to try to speak as loud as I can. So, once you get your coat comfortable and quiet, and you get him cinched up, don't play around with it too much. Because he could at any minute stand up and try to take off and everything, you know, so go ahead and get him cinched up. Don't give him too much time to react to it. His coat's pretty good. He's going to stand here because he's done it twice. He's had his saddle on twice. And I got on his back and laid across his back a couple times. him up too tight, cut his hair off. What you want to do is just cinch him up snug. So if he does start cutting up on you, saddle him slowly. Take your time. Always be safe when it comes to young horses because they can run pretty quick. And get them dressed out here. So fast to where you scare him, but you want to go ahead and just get it done. Get him cinched on up. Now, I'm gonna ask him to step around. He's got a slight hump in him, but he's okay. So he walked off pretty good. Good boy. Even that little bit, I'll take that. Okay. You want to congratulate him even with that little bit because the first thing he did not do is buck, and so that's a good thing. With the saddle on him, just tell him, good boy, job well done. And congratulate that baby. Let that baby follow you around. Let that baby follow you around. And what you want to do is you want to whoa that baby right there. Whoa. And back him up. Builds the muscles up in his rear end. Those gasket muscles. Good boy. So if your back's good, that's a good thing. You backing him on that left side. Whoa. Stop him right there. Whoa. Stop him right there and back him up on this right side. Back him on up. Back him on up. Good boy. Now this coat right here, like I said, he's pretty smart. So he'll probably back without me pulling him. Back up. Back. Step to the side, keep his nose on you. Back. Don't pull on him right there. Good boy. Good boy. Good coat right there. You want to try that in different positions in this round pen. Don't do it in just one area. Move around. And ask him to back up. Back, back, back. If he tries to lift his head too high, hold his head down a little bit. And let it go. Let it go. Loose rein. Keep my right hand right. What I want to do is I want to get him going a little bit. He understands how to lunge. So I want to get him going around a little bit. Coach not excited. Coach relaxed. Coach trusting me right now. Stepping all in the water and the mud, which is a good thing, good sign. He's got that one ear cocked to me. He's listening. Over there. Put your hand up. Always drive your coach from his butt. Never step up in the front, because that's going to be pressure. Visible pressure is going to stop the coach. So always drive him from the rear back here. Get him going. Whoa. So he stopped pretty good. Always remember now, I can't say it enough. Congratulate your baby. The more you do that, the better he gets. Start him on that side. Drive from the rear. Keep your body positioned with his butt. Coach stops. You keep him going. Don't stop. Don't let him make his mind up. He has to listen to you. In this setting, this is school. This is first grade. So he has to listen. The lesson he's going to get because this is his foundation. Around his board. I'll show you an example of invisible pressure. If I step in front of that coat, he's going to stop. See? If I step in front of him, I'm creating a wall of pressure. And so he's going to stop. So, that's a good boy. So I don't always have to tell him whoa. I'm teaching him body control and voice command at the same time. So by the time you get up in that saddle, he understands what to do. So what I'm going to do is open right there in his rib. With your thumb, get him moving that butt around. Pull him around. Spins his butt around, so you want to control. I always have control. Control on the ground means control in the saddle. Get him going around here. Be careful with these young coats now, because they can kick you pretty fast. So you always want to keep that head cocked to you, so you know when they're going to kick, because they got that little hump and they're about to lift that rear end up. So you can pull that head around if he gets to a point where he can kick at you. That way he kicks the air and he don't kick you. Don't feel good. I got kicked many a time by these young horses. Me getting a little over anxious and a little overconfident and putting the guard down, and they can tag you. But they don't break a bone. They bruise you up pretty good. So you want to take your time. Disengage that hind quarter. He stepped around right there, which is good. Do the same thing on this side. Get him going. Tap his butt for a little forward motion there. Pull his butt around here. Get him moving that rear end. Moving that rear end. This is going to be equivalent to you bumping him with a spur or your heel whenever you're getting up there riding him. You'll know how to move his butt over. Good boy. Disengage those hindquarters. See how he stepped over and kind of crossed in the back? Disengage those hindquarters. Because if you don't, he's going to stay locked in. And you want to be able to control a horse's head, neck, shoulders, body, rear. Get up here and walk this coat around. Let this coat follow me. Let this coat know that I'm going to take care of him. No matter what. I'm going to protect him from predators and the whole nine. Just like the lead mare would out in the pasture or out in the wild. Ward off any predators or push them somewhere safe. Get him going here. Before you get on your horse, your young horse, what you want to do is you step around here. Don't get too much of that rope caught up in your hands. Step around here, maybe wrap it around your old horn. Do a little jumping. Like I said, I've worked with this coat the past week, five days straight. Letting him feel the weight of my body on that side, same thing. He's not afraid. He's more interested in what I'm doing as opposed to trying to flee. And same thing on this side. Jump and get to moving, and you got some keys like what I got in my pocket. Let them jiggle. Get them young colts kind of used to you just being there. What we'll do here is we'll get this coat, make this the rein. This lead rope is going to be my rein. I'm not trying to ride this coat. He has worn the bit twice. Let him sleep and eat with it one night, which is okay. Not going to hurt him. I'll let him know that it's something that's not going to get him. Once he's been moving around and lunging a little bit, we want to go back and tighten that cinch up a little bit so that saddle won't slide with you. It needs to stay pretty much stationary. Not too tight where you don't cut his hair off, but snug enough to where it won't move when you get up there. And take your time. Take your time with these young horses. There's no rush. If you rush them, you're going to have a nutcase out there on the trail ride. I've seen a lot of people trying to train their horses on the ride. And that's not very safe because you may have a young novice rider or even an older rider that's just starting, and if they get caught up in a situation and they're bound up in a little hole with you and your horse, they don't know what to do, they can get hurt. So it's your responsibility to not only take care of your horse and ride your horse correctly, but look out for the other people that are out there. And that way you can ride for a long time. Now I'm going to stick my foot in there before I jump up on that coat. I'm going to take and let him feel the weight. He might try to bite, like right there, and just throw your hands up at him. You know, kind of open his mouth up a little bit right there. Normally what I'd do, if a coat does that, I'd reach down there and tap him on his nose, let him know, no good. That's not a good thing. Stand on this side, do the same thing. Everything you do on the right side of a horse, you do on the left side. You know, I mount my horses from both sides. There's no rule that says you have to mount from the left side. I mount my horses from both sides. Horses have the ability to be ambidextrous. Now, Wool. He stops right there. He understands ball. Now stand in that saddle right there. Pull him off over here. He's not excited. He's not thinking about much. He's thinking about grain. It's getting late in the afternoon here. He's thinking about eating. You know, so we're gonna get up there now. We're not gonna get up here and try to teach this coat how to run and all that good mess. I'm just gonna sit up here and relax. If the coat goes to bucking, Wool now. Wool. If the coat goes to bucking, that'll be alright. I want that coat to just relax. Right there. Ooh. And just let him feel my weight. If he wants to take a step or two off, that's totally okay. You know? If he goes to bucking, hold on. It's all a part of it. Hold on until he stops. Be okay. Now I'm gonna squeeze this horse and let him take a couple of steps. And see if he wants to walk. There you go. But again, with a horse that don't know much, I want to go right into a circle with him. That way, I can kind of control him a little bit better. He steps around there, which is a good thing. Nice little circle. I don't feel a hump in his back. His back's relaxed, which is a good sign. That means that he's not excited. Then I'm going to pull him around here to the right since he did so well. But I always want to bump him, bump, bump, bump. Let him step around. Go ahead, buddy. There you go. Always want to get my hands clear where I can hold that saddle horn. You got a lot of folks that'll say, oh, let the saddle horn go. Well, they put a saddle horn on a saddle for a reason. It's not just to dally off and drag cows and logs. It's to keep you safe. You know, this is not the rodeo. Now, you know, in saddle bronc, we don't use that kind of stuff. When we're in the rodeo, we don't use that stuff, you know. You touch that horn and you're disqualified. But in this game, if you don't touch the horn, the horse can disqualify you, you know. So, he's a nice little baby. He's not thinking about a whole lot. And again, at any time, these horses can change their mind and do something different. Now, whoa. Now, since he backs so well from the ground, we're going to see, just with this rope halter, if the horse can back up, if he remembers. Like I said, he's pretty smart, so we'll try him. Back, back, back. How about that? Huh? Back. He takes a couple steps back. I'll whoa him right there and pat him down. And that's all he needs. You stop your horse on a good note right there, and I'll tell you, man, you got a good friend. You got a horse that'll pretty much go anywhere and do anything because he feels like you're going to protect him and not put him in a situation where he's going to get hurt. You know, remember, again, these horses are just living, breathing, thinking things. It's not like your truck or your motorcycle where you put gas in it and you hit the pedal, you know it's going to go. Some days a horse don't want to go. Sometimes they may perceive something a little bit different that scares them. So they're going to get a little antsy and everything. But you ride your horse through it and reassure them and let them know that everything is okay, and ride safe and have a good time. That's what it's all about with these horses. Until the next time, Cowboy Mike.